What is up, everybody? This is Andy with Aspen Vapes, and today we're bringing you another review video. For today's review, we're going to be taking a look at the MVP version 3. This is the newest device by Innokin. The iTaste MVP 3 is probably the most anticipated product from Innokin in a while. Obviously, the original MVP 2 was quite the hit from vaping enthusiasts, so everyone was waiting to see how their 30-watt device would come out. And now we have it in our hands, so let's take a quick look at it. So the MVP3 is a 30-watt device, and it does fire down to 0.4. So again, you can use these sub-ohm tanks such as the Delta 2 or Aspire Atlantis, Kanger Sub-Tank Mini, whatever you prefer. You can use any of those tanks. You can also use your favorite RDA on here as long as you're building your coils at above or at 0.4 or above. Overall, it feels very sturdy. I haven't vaped this too much yet. As you can see here, it is very similar to the same style as the original MVP V2. Got one right here, as you can see. As you can see here with your MVP V2, it is a little bit bigger, not too much. It's a little bit taller, as you can see there, and it is a little bit wider. But it's that same form factor that everyone loved with the MVP V2. But one of my favorite features so far, at least, is they put the fire button on the side. So it's a much easier to vape, and it feels natural when you have it gripped in your hand like this instead of the fire button being right here on the MVP V2. And I'm really enjoying that. I am glad. It's such a simple change, but they did listen to vapors, and Innokin has been very good about listening to what people think, and they did go ahead and make that change. If you take a look at the screens here, you can see that the screen is also a lot nicer on the MVP V3 compared to the V2. The reason for the size increase on the MVP V3 is that they did upgrade it to a 3800 mAh internal battery, so that is extremely nice. I'm definitely fine with it being a bigger device to have the bigger battery life, especially because when you're using a sub-ohm tank such as this Delta 2, you will get less battery life than if you're using a Aspire Nautilus with a 1.8 ohm coil. So I definitely appreciate the bigger battery size. Again, it is an internal battery. If you like that, if that's your kind of thing, then it's great because it's such a big internal battery. Some people were looking for the MVP3 to have a replaceable 18650, but they decided to go with the internal battery just like on the MVP V2. Like with the MVP2, you can use this with either in voltage mode or wattage mode. Again, that's your decision. Right now I've got it on 20.5 watts. I've been enjoying that with the Delta 2 on top with the 0.5 ohm coil in there. Overall, from the bit I've used it so far, I'm definitely enjoying it. I've always been a big fan of Innokin, and I still to this day use my MVP V2 with either the Nautilus or a Mini Pro Tank 3 on there. Just something. It's definitely the durable battery life. I mean, these things last forever. They're extremely durable. They produce a great vape, and the battery life is awesome. So you can't go wrong with an MVP V2. But now that they came out with the V3, I think I'll be bringing this around a lot more. Especially since I'll be able to use a sub-ohm tank on it, which obviously you cannot on the MVP2. So let's take a quick vape on it before we take a look at the details of everything it comes with and take a closer look at the screen. As you can see, that's great vapor production. That's only at 20.5 watts, I believe. Yep. That is at 20.5 watts right now with the Delta 2, and that's great vapor production for such a low wattage. Alright, so now let's go ahead and take a closer look at everything you get and take a closer look at some of the features on the MVP V3. So here you can see the new packaging on the MVP V3. I am a big fan of Innokin's new packaging. They've incorporated this design into all their new products, such as the VV4, other new products, but here you go. This is what you get. When you open up your box, you will have the MVP obviously right here. You will have a USB charging cable, and you'll have a 510 adapter. If you want to use like the Mini Pro Tank 3 or a device similar to like that, you can just screw this into the 510 threading up here, and you'll be good to go. There's also an instruction manual that they do include down here that tells you everything that you need to know, how to use the device, charging, all of that fun stuff that you can take a look at. But that's basically it. There's not too much in the box. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of the features on the MVP V3. So taking a look at the improved screen on the MVP V3, you can see it does show you the watts, the volts, the battery level, as well as the ohm of the current setup you have on top. For this, it's showing a 0.6 right now. Now to switch between the wattage and voltage mode, for it to switch from volts to watts where it's displayed right here, to get it into the wattage mode, you're going to hold down the power button and the plus button. There you go, it's now in wattage mode. To get back to voltage mode, you're going to hold down the minus sign and the power button, and you're back in voltage mode. Like I said, I usually always keep it in wattage mode, so switch it back. 21 watts, we're good to go. Another feature that some people are going to enjoy is the ability to switch it to left-handed mode. So if you hold down the plus and minus signs at the same time, it's going to go ahead and switch the display. So that is a nice little feature that they have in there. Not too big of a deal, but some people do enjoy it. You can see while you're holding that down, it's going to give you a puff counter. So right now the puff counter is at 36. So on the 36 puff counter, that will reset every time you power on and off your MVP3, which brings us to the next topic, how to turn it on. All you have to do, 1, 2, 3, boom. Simple as that. 1, 2, 3, power on. So a really nice feature they included in this version, the MVP V3, for those that like to charge other devices with this, is they included a built-in micro USB charger. That is extremely nice to have for those of you that use Android phones or have a device that you need to charge on the go. You can just pull this bad boy out and it's always going to be connected in there. That's a super handy feature. Like always, if you need to charge your iPhone or whatever, you can plug your charger into here via the USB, and you can charge whatever device you need to charge. Another nice upgrade compared to the V2 is the charging port is right here, so you can rest your MVP like that when you're charging it, instead of on the V2, as you can see here, you had to put it on here so you couldn't sit it flat while it was charging, which that did annoy some people. But again, Innokin listened and they did deliver on this new charging port right here, which makes it very nice if you're at your desk and you're charging it. You can just vape it, put it right back down instead of having to lay it down. So that's definitely a nifty little feature. Now this does come in 4 different colors. It comes in the silver, it comes in a black, it comes in a blue, and it also comes in a pink. I'm a big fan of the silver here with the Delta 2 on it. It's got a nice clean matching to it. But yeah, all the colors are also this shiny sort of coating on it, compared to the more matte of the MVP V2. It's got the shinier, and it's also got this little pattern on here that is indented. It does give it a nice feel though. I do like that pattern a lot. So one of the biggest things is it's sitting flush. So as you can see here, there is a tiny gap that you could fit about a hair through on this device. It doesn't go all the way around right here. It does sit a little bit more flush, but on this end you can see there is a teeny little gap there. It's not a big deal. It personally doesn't bother me, but some of you that might affect your decision to purchase it. Again, that's another personal preference thing. Like I said, it's a very small gap, and it does fit almost flush on the device. I have tried this out with the Aspire Atlantis as well, and there was that minuscule little gap in between there. Just thought I would throw that in there, so those of you that do mind a cosmetic imperfection like that, you can be aware before you make your purchase. We'll see if Innokin does update their later versions of the MVP V3 to fix that, but as of now I don't see it being a big deal, but that is up to you to decide. Right now the MVP V3 is available on our site, AspenValleyVapes.com, for $49.99 for members. So that's going to wrap up our review of the MVP V3. If you have any questions or comments, you can always send us an email at info@AspenValleyVapes.com, or you can give us a call at 1-800-266-7556. Thanks. Have a wonderful day.